When do we plan to start?
I'm just in a meeting at the moment. Can I give you a call back when it finishes?
The chairman of the council is the chairman of the
Mrs. Weaver, please.
Will you stop talking?
I take charge.
Roger, yes, we will be.
Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
Hello, my friends. Today, I'm gonna take you back a few years. Back to a time of Zoom classes, Zoom meetings, Zoom doctor's appointments, and Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, the pandemic is something that none of us really want to have to think about again, but it's something we'll always remember. It had a lot of unexpected effects on our lives, on our relationships, and our communities that we never really saw coming. No piece of internet media really captures that chaos of COVID times quite as well as the Handforth Parish Council meeting held over Zoom at 7:30 p.m. on the 10th of December 2020. Now, at this point, you may be asking yourself, what is the Handforth Parish Council? Well, it was the city council. It was the city council for the small town of Handforth in the United Kingdom, but it seems that after all of this time in the spotlight, they actually had to change the name to Handforth Town Council. So if you weren't lucky enough to see the Zoom call when it initially went viral, then you're really in for a treat today. And with that, I think it's time we dive in to the Handforth Parish Council. Definitely one of the only good things that the pandemic gave us, and it is a true relic of internet history. All right, before we witness this clash of titans, let me introduce you to our players today. We have, of course, Jackie Weaver. We have our chairman of the council, arguably the villain of today's story. We have Alid Brewerton, otherwise known as Alid's iPad. Then we have Peter Moore, King John Smith, and Julie's iPad, who makes the best contributions. All right, well, let's get started here. You can tell that there's a lot of pent-up rage. These people are coming in petty as fuck.
When do we plan to start?
I think we could start any moment, Chairman. I think it's perhaps helpful just to go through the same things as we went through before, which is just to encourage people to switch off their microphones, because it does reduce the background. I'll continue to admit people if you'd like to start the meeting, Chairman.
Can we be assured that we won't be thrown out of the meeting like we were last time?
As long as we have reasonable behaviour from everyone, no one would be excluded from the meeting.
I was thrown out of the meeting. So was Councillor Birthill, so was Councillor Brewerton.
As a point of order, Chairman, could we start the
again?
Chair.
Okay. I'll go for. Okay.
Chair.
We haven't started the meeting yet. Do you want to speak anyway?
Yes, I'd like to ask a point of order.
I'm in.
We're not in a meeting, so points of order are not.
When's it started yet? No.
Points of order apply during the debates.
You don't even have to know the background to feel the tension in this call. It's been like, what, 5 minutes? Not even 5 minutes into the meeting, and we're already seeing these feuds. We're seeing alliances, character flaws. And then, of course, comes the main confrontation between the chairman and his beef with Jackie Weaver.
Ask Jackie, was it you who quoted a point of order?
Yes, it was indeed.
Are you here as the proper officer?
I am here offering support to Handforth Parish Council in the conduct of this meeting this evening.
You're not the proper officer.
Is that as clerk or proper officer?
There's no difference between clerk and proper officer.
Of course there is.
Yes, there is.
You must know the basic law.
Are we
I
going
would
to,
have thought.
are we going to start this meeting, Chairman?
It isn't the role of somebody who, however kindly, volunteers to do the clerking for a meeting to act as a proper officer if they haven't so been appointed. That's against the law.
It's been called by
And let me also quote to you the standing orders of Handforth. Will you stop talking?
Unless we are prepared.
Will you please listen?
We'll go the same.
Will you please listen? Will you stop being whatever it is you're trying to be and just clerk the meeting if that's what you want to do?
Chairman.
Points of order, according to our standing orders, are determined by the chair. If you want to raise a point of order as a councillor, you ask if you can raise a point of order, you state it, and then the chair decides. It is not for the clerk to raise a point of order. It is not for the clerk to decide a point of order.
Councillors.
And you must be aware of that, or at least God knows what you're doing in your job if you're not aware.
One of the best parts of this Zoom call is definitely the fact that it's a bunch of old people who don't really know how Zoom works. Julie's iPad is really out here trying her best, and she gives us all the comedic relief we need through the whole call.
It is.
Or shall we elect an alternative chairman?
Oh, hiya. I'm just in a meeting at the moment. Can I give you a call back when it finishes?
The good reason.
Okay, all right, bye.
She might be my favorite character, to be honest. This makes me feel like I'm watching a Shakespearean drama.
Can't see Jackie Weaver.
Who's this woman? There.
Right, we'll start the meeting, and I want to repeat what I said at the beginning of the last meeting, that this meeting has not been called according to the law. The law has been broken.
It has been properly
Will you
called.
please let the chairman
Mrs. Weaver, please.
To disrupt this meeting, I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
She's just kicked him out.
I-
Just a minute. No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by two councillors.
Illegally?
You may now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
Dear me.
Appalling behaviour.
I don't even know what to say, to be honest. This all happens not even 5 minutes into the Zoom call. There's still over an hour left for things to go even more sideways. This guy, Barry, he obviously wasn't paying attention at all, and he's just as shocked as we are at what we just heard.
A copy of this will, in fact, be sent to the monitoring officer.
I hope so.
Out of those people,
Where's the chairman?
we
Read
elect
the standing orders. It now reverts to me.
Where's the chairman gone?
Read the standing orders.
like to elect a chairman for this meeting.
You don't have to elect a chairman. There's a chairman already installed. The chairman of the council.
Councillor Burkle, we've been through this.
You don't. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. The chairman of the council is the chairman of the
Council.
Yeah, I'm going to subpoena everybody. Let's go.
Jackie Weaver takes her second casualty of war. She tries to go on with the meeting, but Alad's iPad isn't done fighting just yet.
I ask you to be respectful to Jackie Weaver, please.
Would now elect a chairman.
Here comes the subpoena.
Chairman?
I want to leave. Just you go and out then. She's kicked Barry out, so I'm leaving. No, Barry. No, Barry has gone. I'll stay. We're trying to have a Teams meeting, you fool. We're trying to have a Teams meeting, you fool. We can't if you've got that. Oh, you just don't know.
Jackie Weaver, I find that the person on Alec Bruton's Zoom is being very disrespectful to everybody.
Oh, coming from you, from Birkenhead, that sounds good.
Wow.
Thank God for that.
Now elect a chairman for the meeting, please.
Yes.
Jackie.
Can I propose John Smith, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you. My first point is to apologise to Jackie, but welcome to Handforth. May I start?
Indeed, it's nothing if not lively in Handforth.
So now 3 people have been kicked from the meeting. From here, it goes pretty smoothly, pretty much as planned. They choose to elect John Smith as the chairman for the meeting. And, you know, he's been doing his best to mediate the whole time. He's pretty professional, but he has a sense of humor. And I think a lot of people stand John Smith after this video went viral. And then, of course, after this huge altercation, I was really curious what caused this divide in the Handforth Parish Council. And the rest of the recording gives us just a little bit more context. One thing I really was not aware of was that there's a live audience of members of the public of Handforth watching this entire thing, which, I don't know, maybe that's how this video went public.
John, can I make a very, very quick point? Rich coming from the chairman who hasn't held a meeting since March to try and call this one illegal. The man is a complete disgrace.
Okay, thank you, Peter. All right, I'll get started.
Just before we move off, might it be to reassure the members of the public who are present that the meeting has been properly called, that in fact 2 councillors have called the meeting, which is quite proper, and as a courtesy, because the Handforth chairman and vice chairman and a fellow councillor joined the meeting, as a courtesy, we allowed the chairman to take the chair. But now that they have left, it is perfectly appropriate to re-elect a chairman for this meeting.
Ian, you're muted.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Just, I noted before the chairman departed from the meeting, the chairman of the council, I noted that his label on his video said clerk of Handforth Parish Council. Could anyone please clarify how that came about and whether that is in fact the case right now?
Thank you, Ian. I must admit, I didn't notice that.
I have a photograph of it.
Yes, most definitely. I did. Thank you. I did notice the moniker on the screen, and it did make it quite difficult putting names to whoever. But having followed this quite closely, the chairman simply declared himself clerk and notified everybody of the case, and the remaining members, quite correctly, have refused to recognise that that position. But as Councillor Smith says, I'm afraid there's no way of stopping him calling himself clerk. Okay. Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
In the end, Britney Spears gets the final word. There's just a couple more highlights of the meeting that are worth showing, like the time someone flushes their toilet and interrupts. I can only assume this is Julie.
For me to suggest how the parish council might formulate an official reply to that letter.
Thank you, Roger. Yes, we will be. Sorry, we will be elaborating on that as well.
And David has a premonition about the meeting going viral.
I think if this goes viral on the internet or Facebook, whatever, it's going to start a war of words.
I agree.
After all this, I found myself asking, did Jackie Weaver really have the authority? She kicked 3 members of the council out, including the chairman. They're all in the Zoom waiting room, and later everyone votes against letting them back in.
Chairman, could I just ask you?
Sorry, yes?
We did, as you know, put the disruptive members into the waiting room. Are we minded to allow them to try to return to the meeting?
I'm afraid that I would be loath for that to happen because we've got work to get through, and I can only see everything being
even more disruptive.
I was surprised at the reaction of some of the people in the way that, you know, certainly in the Brewerton household.
They've already disrupted the planning.
Okay.
They've also disrupted the community.
Okay.
And
Okay,
what
Cynthia.
I felt really aggrieved at was the fact that someone in the Brewerton household sat there like a laughing hyena.
In my research, I found out that Cheshire East, which I think is the county that Handforth is a part of, they did a long investigation into the Handforth Parish Council after this meeting. Apparently, they spent $85,000 investigating, and they actually found that Jackie really did not have the authority to act in the official manner that she did. Of course, that didn't stop the internet from idolizing Jackie Weaver. Someone made a cake of her face. She had a goat named after her. And Andrew Lloyd Webber even wrote a song dedicated to her.
Jackie Weaver, Jackie Weaver is the role model we all strive to be. She doesn't want a medal, just a nice cup of tea.
There was a lot of contention after the dust settled, but Jackie Weaver had kind of already won in the court of public opinion. And with the councillors that were under investigation already resigned and the name changed to Handforth Town Council, they released the findings of the investigation, but it didn't go much further than that. There was an interview with Allard Brewerton that came out like 6 months ago from SWNS. He talks about himself and the other 2 counselors that got kicked as like victims of the media, saying that there wasn't enough context just in that one meeting and that they were painted as bullies, even though there's not a bullying bone in his body.
It was the evening of Thursday, the 4th of February, and I received a call from Brian very late on, telling me that we were trending because of this video having gone viral. And Brian said, would I have changed what I had done? And I said, yes, I would. I said, I would have muted my microphone and turned the video off, and I would have refused to put the video on. And the problem was, people were only seeing what was on that video. They didn't know the truth. They didn't know what was going on. And they looked at us as the 3 villains, as 3 bullying men. It's not a bullying bone in my body.
I'll admit that I personally don't really know anything about what it takes to run a local government, especially in the UK. But I think it's pretty clear that his behavior wasn't exactly necessary. And, you know, since he's saying now that he would have acted differently if he knew people were going to be watching, maybe he should take just a little bit of accountability and think that maybe he shouldn't have acted that way in the first place. Obviously, sending threats and stuff is way too far, but he showed a side of himself in that video. But I think that's all I have today on the Handforth Parish Council. I'm probably one of the only people that still thinks about this in 2023. But it's just one of those videos that you see and you don't really believe it's real the first time you watch it. I will literally never forget this video. It's like one of those internet moments, you know, that historians will look back on. I hope that the town of Handforth was able to find some peace after this. I'm sure now things are going better with, I think, John Smith as the chairman and Cynthia as vice chair. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon. Until we meet again.